In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint your Crimson Fist chapter for Warhammer 40,000. We'll cover everything, including how to tackle their blue armour, how to get it highlighted, and then we'll look at getting other key details painted. Don't worry though, because this will be broken down step by step, so it's easy to follow along with, and by the end you'll have the knowledge and confidence to get your own Crimson Fist fully painted. And if you stick around until the end, I'll show you how to paint those Crimson Fists and add interest to the armour. My name's Michael and welcome to TableTopReady. Today I'm going to be showing you how to paint a Space Marine from the Crimson Fist chapter, and we can learn how to paint their iconic blue armour and have it really stand out on the tabletop. And so you know, all the paints and brushes I use will be shown on the screen as I use them, and they'll also be listed in the description along with links to my favourite hobby tools and equipment you see me using. And before we get started, we'll first have to get our Crimson Fists ready for painting, which involves building them using sub-assemblies and getting them undercoated. I've mostly assembled our Crimson Fist, but I have left the arms, head and pack separate. This lets us get to difficult to reach places and just makes painting a bit more enjoyable. For the undercoat I've used Mechanicus Standard Grey, as it's a great mid-tone, but you can use whatever colour you want to use. If you want to learn about getting your miniatures ready for painting, I do have a dedicated video on the channel that covers sub-assemblies and undercoating your miniatures in depth, so make sure to go check that out. So when you're ready and have your Crimson Fist built and undercoated, we can get started. In this first section, I want to get the blue armour painted whilst we create a good foundation of knowledge which is going to help us become better painters. For me, the best place to start is to get our base colour painted first, so let's start with the iconic blue armour, and for this we're going to use Cantor Blue. And for best results we want to thin our paint, and I find an equal amount of water does the trick. We also want to remove excess paint from our brush on some paper towel first to give us more control when painting. Then once you're ready, keep your brush moving and try not to go over any areas you've already painted to prevent creating any unwanted texture whilst the paint is still drying. And because we thinned our paint, it won't have covered very well, so let's repeat the process and apply another layer. This lets us build up to a solid colour without losing any detail, and just make sure to let each layer fully dry first before doing another one. And if you're interested in learning why and how we thin our paints, go check out my video going into more depth. It's really easy to overlook the basics, even just applying paint to our miniatures, and even just keeping things neat and tidy. And even after all these years of painting miniatures, it's practicing those basics that really make the difference. After the base colour for our armour is done, we can use Armageddon black for the ribbing between the armour. And although we want to be as neat as possible whilst doing this, if you're like me you're going to be messy and make mistakes. That's okay though, we can always go back and tidy things up as we go. Now we have the black ribbon, we want to start creating definition, making our armour details stand out and looking less flat. And I first want to show you how we can make our armour more interesting to look at and break up those flatter areas using a glaze. We use a Night Lord's blue, and to make this a glaze we want to thin it down with twice the amount of water. This is going to make it more transparent, allowing more of the colours underneath to come through. When you're ready, let's use our Night Lord's blue glaze and apply it in thin layers around lower sections of armour panels and anywhere else you think needs it. We can also use a glaze of the colour we're transitioning from and continue to work the blend even more and smooth things out. So here I'm using a Cantor Blue glaze. Now let's bring out the details with a recess shade using Night Lord's blue, helping to bring out the details, making them easy to see. A recess shade involves painting directly into recesses and areas to create our definition, rather than using an overall wash which can be messy and darken the colours we apply them over. Again, if you're a bit messy, we can neaten things back up with our base colour. Now our armour is looking less flat and more interesting, let's move on to learning how to highlight the armour. The idea behind highlighting is to bring out areas, raise details and all those edges to draw our attention to them and to make these features stand out. The first highlight we're going to do is called a chunky highlight, and for this we're using Calidor Sky. Again, we want to thin our paint and remove any excess on some paper towel first, which is going to prevent those thick blobby lines. This highlight wants to be quite a thick line so we can still see it once we've painted our finer highlights after this. Then our next highlight is called an edge highlight. I'm using Hoeth Blue, and this is used on any edges and to continue bringing out any details. Highlighting this kind of angular armour is actually quite straightforward because it has so many strong defined edges. We can simply angle the brush and run it along those edges to create clean, consistent highlights. Of course, there will be areas where you can't rely on using just the edge of the brush. For those, just take your time and paint thin lines where we want our highlights to be. And once you're done, hopefully you can see how our highlights have helped to really define the shape of the armour. If you want to know more about highlighting, then I've got a dedicated video on the channel which goes into more detail about what I find helps me and what I did to improve. Highlights can be tricky, and I know that not everybody likes doing them, but it does get easier with practice, and you'll even notice that your hand-eye coordination and brush control does improve as a result, making us better painters overall. The last highlight we can do is a spot highlight using Fenrisian Grey to paint little dots on all the corners of the armour where light would be more focused. And once you're done painting all your highlights, you'll be able to see what a difference it's made to our miniature. Now we have the blue armour of our Crimson Fist all done, we can start working on all the other details, starting with any weapons. Now I want to show you how to get any weapons and metallic details painted, which are an essential part painting any Crimson Fist. We can start by painting any silver details using Iron Hand steel, and at the same time let's paint any chest decorations with Iron Warriors. Once you're done with those, we want to apply Nuln Oil, using enough to cover areas without it pulling up too much in details. Then once the shade is dried, let's highlight these silver details using Stormhouse Silver. For any small gold decorative details, start with Retributor armour. After that we can apply some Reikland Flesh Shade to bring out the details. Finish up any gold details, layering up raised details with Liberated Gold. We can't expect to be able to get everything painted in just one sitting. So let's just take our time and enjoy the process. It's a hobby after all, and if we paint with intention, we'll have some miniatures we can be really proud of once we're done. After the metals, we'll want to paint any weapon casings with Abaddon Black, and once those are painted along with any ribbed areas we worked on earlier, let's start bringing out the edges and raised ridges with a chunky highlight using Corvus Black. After the chunky highlights are done, let's paint our edge highlights using Dawnstone. And for the ribbed area, focus more towards the centre of each ridge to emphasise the curves. We can now do spot highlights using Administratum Grey for the weapon casings and ribbed areas. With the weapons and metals painted, we're nearly done, so let's get the final details finished, including adding some interest. In this last section of the tutorial, let's look at finishing your Crimson Fists and getting them ready for the tabletop. The next thing we need to get done is paint the crimson hands of our Crimson Fist, so let's start with the Corn Red for our base colour. Next we're going to do a recess shade, bringing out the details with Galvorback Red. When you're done with the recess shade, let's do a chunky highlight with Mephiston Red. Now we can move on to paint our edge highlights using Evilson Scarlet. And let's finish those crimson hands with dots of Fire Dragon Bright for our spot highlights. Let's get any leather belts and pouches painted next, and for those we're going to be using Dryad Bark for our base colour. When that's done, let's apply Nuln Oil to create some definition. Then finish your leather details doing edge highlights with Gorthor Brown. Something that's really easy to do but adds a lot of character to the armour is painting small scuffs and scratches, and for this we can use Hoeth Blue. And when we're adding effects like this, it's best to take your time and build them up slowly until you're happy with how they look, so they don't overpower all the work we've already done. The last thing to do on our Crimson Fist is to bring it to life painting the lenses. Start by painting the recessed areas with Mephiston Red. After that, paint a thin line along the bottom edges with Fire Dragon Bright. Then we're going to finish any lens painting a small dot of white scar in the top rear corner. So I've finally done a tutorial showing you how to get your Crimson Fist painted, and I've really enjoyed the challenge of making sure we do this iconic chapter justice and impress everybody who sees your collection. So let's see how it turned out. But before we see the finished Crimson Fist, I want to say a massive thank you to all the amazing people who've made this tutorial possible with their continued support. It really means a lot. Your generosity allows me to get all the paints, brushes and miniatures I need to make these tutorials so I can continue to help you get better at painting. And I especially want to thank everyone who's recently become a supporter or has donated to the channel. Thank you so much. If you enjoy the content here on TableTopReady and feel you get value from it, you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or joining my Patreon. Supporters get access to our Discord, regular updates and early access to videos and tutorials, along with exclusive masterclass tutorials where I'll go even more in depth showing exactly how I approach painting some of Warhammer's most impressive miniatures step by step. We've now finished painting our Crimson Fist and I hope I've been able to give you the confidence and knowledge to paint your own. I've got plenty of other tutorials on the channel showing you how to improve your painting, and if you want to learn how to paint some of the other chapters like Imperial Fists, I've got tutorials for those as well. I really do enjoy making these tutorials and I hope you find them useful. If you do, then please leave a like and let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing about your own hobby and what you thought of the video. As well, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future content, and I'll see you in the next video.